Hey guys, welcome to the Vanguard Tactics channel and show tonight. So today I'm joined with Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Living the dream, living the Christmas dream.
Yeah, the Christmas dream.
Yeah,
Nice,
all the
like it.
shopping done, everything prepared, no problems, dead easy.
Oh, good man, good man. Yeah. So myself, I've been actually doing a lot of Christmas shopping today. Didn't take me too long, but all what I kind of do is just add everything on Amazon wish list and then just decide how much over the year. Then I just go buy, and then it all comes.
Looking forward to some good stuff then, mate. Cheers.
Yeah,
Not much Warhammer on Amazon, but that's a bit. I'll see what I get through the post, eh?
that's it. There's a bit, mate. There's a
Yeah,
bit. Yeah, you get enough anyway.
indeed.
Yeah, that's something you are not short of is
No,
Warhammer.
yeah,
Um,
no, far from it.
yeah,
In fact, I'm looking at you now, and all around the viewers can't see is shelves full of stuff that's unbuilt.
yeah, that's
Uh,
it. That
Cupboards full of stuff I've hid from my wife.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Have you got some new stuff? No, no. I've had that ages.
yeah,
By ages, I mean yesterday.
yeah. So, Mark, what are we talking about on tonight's show?
We're talking about Sisters of Battle.
Yes, the new Sisters of Battle.
So I believe you managed to get your hands on some of the boxes.
Three. Yep,
Okay.
just three.
So you also then got three codexes, I suppose,
Yep,
or codices, I think is the correct plural for
yep.
codexes or whatever it
Mhm.
is. So you've obviously been sat in a room somewhere with all three open at once, gathering that information,
Yep,
a bit like Neo in the Matrix,
yep.
and you're now the expert when all things Sisters Battle are concerned.
I wouldn't say an expert, but certainly somebody that's had a good old look through the yeah good old look through the book, and I really like it. I was when this arrived through my door, I was just so excited when I was chuffed. I was
Yeah,
seeing pictures, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've had a couple of questions already, guys. If you are watching live, is this going to be a video? This will be. You'll be able to watch this video even after this recording. So this is live, but this is going to be a recording also, and we're going to aim to get this out on our podcast as well that I desperately need to get going. That's going to be the 2020 goal, is to have a weekly podcast show on top of obviously what we already do. So yeah, that's all good.
Uh, so I'm gonna. I know nothing about the sisters. In fact, I've buried my head
The sand.
in a hole like a mole,
Yep.
so that, I didn't get any spoilers.
Mhm.
Just because I wanted to get the view from yourself after you'd engorged on it all. You know what I mean? So I could get a good overview of what's in there, if it's any good. If we'll have a looking over the table at it at a tournament or two. In the
Yep.
coming weeks or months.
Yep.
So I'm gonna pick your brains for the next hour or so, if that's okay, on all things sisters. The first question I've got for you is what's their USP? What's good about them? What's to get excited about for sisters?
Well, for me, they offer something truly unique, and that is a really kind of customizable force in a way that we haven't kind of seen before. So if you can imagine as much infantry as guard can kind of put on the table, but within a 3 up armor save, then we're kind of getting a little bit more of what they're all about, and it's very much about a board presence. They're extremely resilient for a toughness 3 model, and I'll go into why that is later on. And they really are going to be a bit of a counter to some of the current meta's hotness, which is Marines. As you know, Marines are very, very good. They've got a lot of -1, -2, -3 weaponry. And I'm going to go on to why later on Sisters of Battle just completely ignore all of that stuff, which is absolutely fantastic. So they really are top draw, in my opinion, for what they do. If you're a player that really likes the movement phase, this is going to be the army for you. If you really, they can, apart from the psychic phase where they've got nothing in order to cast, they can literally operate in every phase, whether that's, they're masters of the movement phase, I would say, with the amount of models that you're going to be able to put on the table. That fantastic damage output from some of their weapons now, which have had a huge buff since this new book's come out. And then also a disgusting amount of combat ability. These these women hit hard. Yeah.
The straight tough question
Mm-hmm.
without a play testing straight off the bat. Do they? Would you say that they suit ETC, ITC, or does it? They got the tools for anything?
I think they've certainly got the tools for everything. I think you're going to see them competitively in both ITC, ETC chapter approved missions. I actually think they'll be deadly in the new chapter approved missions because this
Hmm.
is the new chapter approved missions, and I'm sure the way that the ETC will go with them is there's normally a little bit of a carryover there. Um, it's an army extremely good at holding objectives. So every time you can do that, you can hold board presence. In often is probably more powerful than killing, I would say, in the game of 40k, ironically. So yeah, we're going to see them everywhere. Yeah, when the sort of main model release comes out, yeah, definitely. Because one of the things that they get is, as you guys know, you get your kind of legion or your chapter benefit. I'm not so great with the names, guys, of the fluffy names, so you have to forgive me if I get anything wrong. But they're called order convictions, so you get your conviction. Um, Criminals. And then what you get is you get something else called like your uh, you know how Space Marines have got they shall know no fear.
Yeah, yeah.
These ladies get something called Shield of Faith that I'll go into, which is absolutely massive. And then also what happens is they get something called, this is brand new for this codex, is Sacred Rights.
Okay.
Okay, which is, think of that a little bit like your kind of doctrines that the Space Marines get.
Yeah, got you. Okay.
And I think there's some really nice kind of customizable bits here that we haven't seen before. That I actually think, to be honest, if I was to do a Death Watch list, or if I was to write the Death Watch book, I would take a lot of aspects from this, and you'll see how customizable and what an absolute toolbox the sisters are. Okay, and you can kind of see what I mean by, Death Watch could play in a very similar style. And then what they also get is something called Acts of Faith. Now this is changed slightly from previous the beta codex that came out.
Hmm.
In the Acts of Faith, really now allow somebody that is an advanced level player, take the full advantage of this. Okay, I think somebody new picking up this army, I can guarantee and tell you exactly what they're going to use the miracle dice for. But I think really in the hands of a really advanced player, then they're going to be using all of the miracle dice, and I'll go into kind of what they do. And guys, please forgive me if I do get anything wrong. Don't take what I say as, like, oh, Steve said that they can do this, so this gospel. I'm going to get a few things wrong, okay? I'll try my best to do it right, but at the end of the day, I haven't had the opportunity yet to playtest. The army is still to be built and painted before I can really get much playtesting done. And as you guys know, the models are not out yet, so most of the army that I actually want to get isn't even available. Now, what I am going to do for you guys is on Sunday, on our email list, I'm gonna send out a 2,000 point list for you. So if you want to get your hands on that list, all you need to do is go over to www.vanguardtactics.com and just sign up for our masterclass video course. It's right at the top. Just sign up for that. You get the ITC master course, and then what you also get is put onto our email list. And if you're already on the course, then you're already going to get this list anyway, so you don't need to sign up for anything. So if you're already a follower of Vanguard Tactics on our email list, I put out an email today actually talking about one of the biggest mistakes I see in 40k, which is playing too aggressive, and
Yeah.
how that's a huge problem and what you need to do to not make that mistake. So I always kind of put out a weekly tip as well on that email list, so that's where I'll put that list out. Okay.
So that's 100% free of charge.
Yeah.
Uh, no cost to you whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I recommended it to some people. There's a gaming group that I'm in, who are so a lot of guys play ETC missions. They were talking about in the group chat that we're in, saying, "Oh, I'm interested in going to some tournaments and some ITC." So I sent them over to our webpage and said, "Okay, guys, check this out for free. You know, this like a load of videos on there for nothing. Tells you about picking secondaries. You know." Give you some tools for if you're new to ITC and that sort of thing. And if you're not new to ITC, just check it anyway because there might be a gem of information in there that you come across from Steve that you think, yeah, that's great. So
Yeah.
so that'd be fantastic. Then anybody can have a look at that list and think, what would this cost when all the bits come out?
Yeah.
Do I fancy that? This is the sort of thing I'll be up against or whatever. So that'd be
Well,
great, mate. Sounds
yeah,
good.
that's exactly it, right? It's why people kind of ask me for lists, is because they don't want to waste money just buying endless amounts of models. They can be more efficient with what they've got, or they can sell the models they don't want, pass them on to somebody else that does want those models. So if you love the models because the way they look, great, put them on the table. If you're a bit more competitive and you want a particular type of build, save your money, just buy exactly what you need, get the list on the table, build it, paint it, get it going, and it's just efficiency, right?
Yeah, I can totally speak from experience on that. The Space Marine book is so big that I'm on version 4 now of my list,
Yeah,
which has got new models like
yeah.
Forge World tills were ringing today,
Oh,
courtesy
really?
Monsieur Reed. Yes, it wasn't the Astraeus. It's something much smaller and less costly. But yeah, I'm on version 4, and I think I've nailed it now. I think I've got like a absolutely top drawer list. I really think I can do some work with it.
Nice.
But I've got a load of stuff I've built and painted beforehand. It would have been because it's such a big book with so many options.
Yeah.
I just I had some help from you, started using things. So that's one of the questions actually about the sisters book is it of a similar size? Is it of a similar amount of units as the Marines, or is it similar to, like, I would say one of the thin ones is like Drakari. There's a
Yeah, it's probably similar to your
sing,
Drakari book.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Yeah.
it's not the sort of the thickness of the Marine book. I mean, really, there's only two or three heavy support options in this book rather than 20.
Mm.
So, there's no flyers in here. There's only a couple of transports. A couple of HQ options, one troop option. So there's just not
Okay. Oh, I
the
see.
there's not the depth. Okay, I think there's only one
So,
troop anyway. Where are we
sorry.
starting? Where are we going to start with this?
Well, what I would love you to do is that could you got the book, you've had a good read of it, you've had a gun through the units. Could you start with HQs, give us an overview of the sort of things that are available, and maybe talk us through the one that you like the most?
Yeah, so we'll cover some of the units first then, and then we'll dive into some of the combos, the tactics, like I said, you've got your sacred rites, your shield of faith. But what I might actually need to do first of all is tell you what shield of faith is. So this is kind of
Okay.
like your they shall know no fear ability. So it's split into two. The first one is that you get a 6+ invulnerable save. So units with the Shield of Faith get a 6+ invulnerable save. Now that's not an unmodified roll of a 6. That is a 6+, which we'll come on to later. In addition, you can deny a psychic power with any of your units that have it, but it's cast on a D6 rather than a D6. It's on a D6 rather than on 2D6.
Okay.
So
Cool.
the likelihood is you're not going to deny much, but if they cast a smite on a 5 and you roll that 6, you deny it. You've got the options there, okay?
Well, and you can't peril, so the why not?
Exactly that, yeah. So you've got the kind of standard HQ, which is a canoness. Think of that as, for the Marine players out there, this is your captain, okay? Just going to give you reroll ones to hit within 6, okay? Now, nice little, it's got a 4-up invuln, 5 wounds, pretty standard. Nothing really special. None of the guns are that standout. None of the melee weapons are that standout. You can take a power sword, and that's pretty much about it. You can get a a couple of different options. You can give +3 to your aura, which is quite nice. It's called a Rod of Office, which I think is going to be something that you're going to go for, just so that you can, spread out your auras, which I really like. There's one to help you, deny psychic powers, but I think that extra 3 is going to be what you're going to want. Then what you've got is 3. The other basic HQ you've got is a missionary. The missionary adds +1 attack to friendly Ministorum infantry and Astra Militarum infantry as well. So basically, your kind of guard and your sisters are going to get +1 attack, which is really nice. And then you got like an ability there to help you out in your morale phase as well. But really, you're just taking that character for that +1 attack. Okay, so they're your 2, and they're super cheap as well, like cheap as chips. Then what you've got is 3 special characters. Now, one of them you'll be pretty familiar with, Celestine.
Yeah.
Celestine, whatever you want to call her. Now, she isn't dedicated to any of the convictions. So convictions are the chapters, okay? She can go
Yeah.
with any. And she doesn't actually benefit from any conviction herself anyway, okay? Now, she's pretty much what we've seen before. She's a bit of a combat monster, loads of attacks. She's got the Gemini that can support her. She can heal them, bring them back to life. She can come back to life as well on a 2+. In one of the editions, she could come down anywhere. Now she just pops up exactly where she stood, okay? Or where she died from, should I say.
Oh, I see, okay.
Now, the great thing about her, she's got something called Saintly Blessings. The invulnerable saving throw of Adeptus Sororitas infantry models received from their shield in faith is improved by 1 within 6. Or if they're Gemini, they get +2 to a maximum of 4+. So what that means is, and then any Ministorum or Militarum units are going to get basically a 6+ invulnerable save whilst they're within 6 of her. Okay. Earlier when I spoke, by the way, I mentioned about the Adeptus, the missionary buffs up the Ministorum infantry and Astra Militarum, okay?
Got it, yeah.
Not the... so basically all of kind of your sisters' codexes have their keywords, because this is important. This is where it gets a bit confusing. You've got Imperium is their first keyword, so for your allegiances, then obviously the second one then is Adeptus Ministorum, all right? And then you've got Adeptus Sororitas. So the Sororitas is like the third one along, which is basically, think of your women as your Sororitas, all right?
Got yeah.
Ministorum is more like your priests, and other like crusaders, things like that are also in this book. So does that make sense?
Perfectly, yeah.
But the Celestine model, or Celestine, is going to give you +1 invuln save. So now all of your Sisters of Battle are pretty much on a 5+ invulnerable save now, stock.
That's really nice.
Whilst they're within, because they get a 6+ stock, now they're going to get a 5+ within 6 of her. Okay?
Cool.
You've got another woman called or a group of women, I'm not quite sure, because I've seen the model, and this is the Triumvirate of the St. Catherine. Okay, it's a big old unit, lots of models on it. It's got 18 wounds, toughness 3. Now, this is something that we haven't quite seen before. This is a HQ unit that's all on one model. And obviously it can be shot as per usual. It's got a 4+ invulnerable save, and it's -1 to hit as well. Okay, now what this does is it can take lots of relics, all right, and there's like a list of relics here that you get access to. Now, depending on how many wounds you've got left is how many relics that are in play. Okay, so think of it as this unit dies, they have to drop the relics off because they don't have enough people to carry it. Okay. So when they start in the game, they start with 5 relics. When they get bracketed, they're only allowed 2 relics. When they drop down, they get 1 relic. Now, these are different relics to what we're familiar with in terms of relics. So it's not like a war gear option. It's just kind of, think of it as 5 abilities they get. So I'll quickly run through them. Each relic grants you basically an ability. So this model can only have one of each relic. And obviously, like I said, it kind of gets rid of them. So number one is this. I mean, I'm not going to read out the fluffy terms. I'm just going to give it to you exactly what they do. At the start of each turn, you gain one miracle dice. Brilliant. And I'll come on to why miracle dice are great. Another one at the start of your shooting phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6. Add 1 to the result if that is a psyker. Add 1 to the roll if it's a character. On a 5 plus, a chaos unit, sorry, not a character. On a 5 plus, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, so it's like a smite. Yeah, so if this unit is close by, it's just going to go smite, 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 smite on a 5 plus. Obviously, if it's chaos, it's going to go off on a 4 plus 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 plus. If it's a chaos psyker, it's going to be going off on a 3 plus, and you're going to do D3 mortal wounds, D3 mortal wounds, D3. So it could be quite useful in certain situations, and you can select which relic is in play at what time. Okay.
Got
So
it.
that's quite nice. Then you've got add 1 to the hit rolls of melee weapons within 6, within a unit, basically. Okay.
And they're hitting on threes, I take it. Most of the troops, are they?
Yeah, and I'll come on to one of the powerhouse units later, the Repenter. So adding 1 to their hit rolls would be great because I think they're a -1 to hit with their big old weapons. So giving them yeah. So they've kind of got like yeah, they're kind of like a power fist with a
Yeah,
flat
yeah,
2
yeah.
damage.
Yeah.
So giving them a
Oh,
+1 to hit
that's
is going
flat
to be
two damage. It's really good. Yeah.
really
So then
cool.
you
Yeah.
get +1 to hit, so you're hitting on threes, and then maybe if you've got a canoness nearby, you've got like
Reroll
reroll
ones,
ones. Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
that. And there's other ways as well we can buff these guys up, ladies
And
up,
then
should I
if
say?
you've got Celestine nearby, you've got like a 5 up invuln, and
Hmm.
look, I can
Now,
see some tasty combinations already.
this is an aura, so it's not just a unit; it's all units. Okay, which is really good again. Another
Can it
one
do
here. Hmm?
this HQ unit?
Yeah, just think of it as a unit of like a big old model of infantry. Okay,
I think
so
I saw the. I've
yeah,
not seen the codex, but I saw the model the other day. It looked like they were on steps, and I thought, I wonder if
that's
it
it.
was like a fortification sort
No,
of
no,
thing
no.
where they're fixed for the game. Okay.
There is a new fortification in here. Then you've got another one which is called Icon of some sort of heart. Once per phase, you can perform one act of faith for a friendly unit within 6. That is already um, has the act of faith ability, even if you've already done it that phase. Okay, so you can basically double act of faith. Okay. And then the next one is you can perform an act of faith on a friendly unit, or when a friendly unit performs an act of faith, you can add 1 or decrease 1 from the result that you wanted.
Got
And
you.
again, I'll come on to why that's so important later.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, the next character you've got is old Junith. This is the one on the eagle that you've seen, like the eagle, whatever it's called. What is it called? The pulpit.
Oh, I love that thing. That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing that I've
Yeah.
seen. The pulpit gunship.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Now,
I don't know how you can't love that. I think that's amazing.
yeah. Now, the other one isn't an order, but this one is an order. Junith is the order of the martyred lady, which isn't one of the better convictions. So we'll come on to why that is later. I think. Hang on, let me just double check. I'm not talking out of my bottom. Yeah, no, she's not one of the best ones in my opinion. Anyway, she is basically a captain and a lieutenant rolled in one. She can't be
Okay.
targeted on this thing. It's only 7 wounds. It's got basically a couple of heavy flamers on there. And she's also got the pulpit of Saint Hollins, whatever, the invulnerable save of Sororitas infantry models receive +1 to their shield of faith. So you could have Celestine and her nearby a unit, and they're going to get a 4+ invulnerable save.
Very nice.
Okay.
So Judith, is she called?
Mm-hmm.
The flying pulpit gunship lady.
Yeah.
I suppose so. It sounds like I always give Drukhari examples because I know the book inside out. But you've got like Lilith Esperex, who has to be from that
Yeah, that's it.
Whittle. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah, and she's a
Like
named character. You can't take her as anything else.
like Theros.
Got you right. Yeah, got to be Iron Hands. Got you.
Yeah. Then we've got the missionary, which I've already told you about. So let's move on to the troops.
So
Troops.
first of all, before we do that, What's your top pick from the HQs? What do you like most?
Now they're so cheap.
Really? Yeah.
You're easy taking a couple of canonesses. I'm probably going to put in a missionary as well. I mean, he's power level 2, which is normally like 30 points.
Right.
So
Wow. Okay.
mission
Yeah.
a missionary, you can only take one per detachment, so he's going in the list for that extra attack.
Yeah.
Then you've got a couple of canonesses for some reroll bubbles here, there, and everywhere. And then also Celestine, because she's going to give you that +1 to your invuln save, and she's just a combat stick anyway. So really
Yeah.
great. Really, really nice. So yeah, some of my top picks there. Then Battle Sisters, you can't go wrong with Battle Sisters. If I'm honest, I would be putting down as many of these women on the board as you possibly can.
So if I understand correctly, then Steve, there's just one troop option,
Yeah.
and it's Battle Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the profile they've got?
Yeah, so they hit on 4s in combat, but you're not using these people in combat at all. They're hitting on 3s with bolt guns. They're strength and toughness 3, 1 wound each with a 3-up save. Okay. Now it's not, you know, you're thinking, well, that's not great, Steve, but I'll tell you why this is really good later. Um, you've basically got a couple of little extra add-ons there. You've got something that means you can act of faith twice with the unit.
Mm.
You in like a tactical squad, you can take like a special weapon and you can take a heavy weapon. Now their options for heavy weapons are pretty much just heavy bolters, heavy flamers, and multi-melters. They don't get plasma cannons, they don't get las cannons. So flamers, melters is pretty much what this army gets. All right, in a nutshell.
And then I take it they don't get they'll take the penalty for moving and shooting for heavy weapons.
Yeah, they will
Yeah.
still take the penalty. Yeah, they got
There's no
nothing.
special rule for
No,
that. Okay.
no. They also get a cherub. Now, a cherub, what that can do is basically when you get rid of it, you get a miracle dice and you roll 2 dice and you can pick the one you want to keep, which is always nice. And we'll go on to. Should I cover why miracle dice are so good now?
Yeah, because we're talking about it quite a bit actually, so it'd be interesting to understand that.
Yeah, so an act of faith is you get acts of faith. Like before, they used to like you could move again or shoot again.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
not quite the case anymore. So basically, how it works is you gain miracle dice and you put them to one side in its own little pool. And you're going to need something so that they don't change. You need to know the result of each of the dice.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you basically gain a miracle dice at the beginning of each battle round. So you're always going to get 6 to use anyway, if you're playing a 6-turn game. And then there's 4 other things in which you get them standard, and then, like I said, there's other ways you can gain them, like burning a cherub, you get an extra one. All right. So what happens is you gain this miracle dice, and then what you do is when you gain a miracle dice, you roll 1d6. The number you roll is the value of that miracle dice. Okay. So if I gain the miracle dice, I roll a 5, I put that 5, just that dice with a 5 on it, in a pool that I can then later use. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, and I'll go on to why that's then useful. Okay. So, especially for people like me that, I like to know exactly what I'm doing with numbers, don't I? I hate randomness. So this is why this army's going to be beautiful for me. So 4 ways to get a miracle thing straight off the bat. Or sorry, 5 ways. Once at the start of the battle round. Vengeance, a unit from your army with the Act of Faith ability destroys an enemy unit. Yeah. So
Wow.
my sister's unit kills your Cabalite unit. I get a miracle dice. Cool. Roll it. Okay. A 2. Great. That's in my pot.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, a character unit from your army with the Act of Faith ability is destroyed. So I push my missionary up. Don't need him anymore. Throw him away. You kill him. Cool. That's a miracle dice. Thank you very much. I'll use that in a minute. Yeah. Purity, a psychic power is resisted from a unit from your army. Okay. So you go, all right, I'm going to cast Smite. You roll a 5. I deny it on a 6. Cool, I get a miracle dice.
Cool.
And then finally, you roll an unmodified roll of a 1 when a morale test is taken from the unit. Okay. So taking
So,
that morale check, roll a 1. Cool, that's another miracle dice for me.
so first 2, not too difficult to get.
Mm-hmm.
Second 2, fairly situational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
killing units are going to be the easy ones, right?
Yeah, got it, sure.
Now, when you perform it, when you actually use this miracle dice, you can do it in any of the following. Okay, so you can use a miracle dice instead of rolling.
Oh,
So the dice that is being substituted is not rolled, and instead the value of the chosen miracle dice is used as if it had been rolled. Okay,
so you can auto pass whatever's very important for you
so
to auto pass.
you can use it for an advance roll, a charge roll, a deny
Yeah.
the witch test, a hit roll, a wound roll, a saving throw, a damage roll, or morale check. So if you've got that knight with 4 wounds left, and I hit you with a d6 weapon melter, like a d6 damage, like a melter, I'm not going to bother rolling it. I'm just going to go. I'm going to take that 4, and I did 4 damage.
Yeah.
Eat it. Yeah. And I think the obvious play there for a lot of people is to go, oh, I've got a d6 damage weapon, take 6 damage, yeah? Whereas a top player, I think, would use that and go, right, I've got a unit coming in from Deep Strike, so I need a 9-inch charge. Right, well, I'm going to take that 4 that I don't need for anything and that 5 that I don't need, and now I've got my 9-inch charge.
Yeah, that is absolutely off the hook.
Yeah,
Especially with charges.
yeah.
That
Now,
if you've got a 5 and then if you can use 2 and you've got 9 on 2 dice, you're auto going to make a charge. So when you bring the unit in, you go, I know I'm going to make the charge, so
yeah.
I'm bring it in. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to make the charger. I'm in combat. That
Now,
is beautiful.
now, bear in mind, it's one. You can use it once, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are some ways to, use 2 acts of faith.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you said,
yeah,
you talked about the unit there, the troop unit, getting to use 2 acts of faith.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's really good.
Or what you can do is if you're making a charge roll and you're
Yeah.
near that triumvirate, which can add 1 or -1, you can roll the dice, one of the dice rolls, yeah, and then you can go, right, it's a 4, right, I'll just select my 5 and put that in. Yeah. So there's
Fantastic.
different ways there, yeah. So you can't use all your miracle dice in one go, but there are some ways you can sort of get around it. Yeah.
So suits high level play really. That you get your head around how to use them at the right time, and then you can really do some work, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think there's some nice plays there. So yeah,
Okay.
it's yeah,
So we on to elites next.
yeah. So again, like when you're like using your cherub and you're rolling 2d6 and you pick which one you want, again, that's really nice when you burn your cherub. Like I say, there are ways to use double ones. Like I said, with the simulacrum, whatever imperialis, I don't know what the name is. If a model with this unit is a simcarum, whatever imperialis, then once per phase you can perform 1 act of faith for this unit, even if it has already performed 1 act of faith in that phase. Yeah. So you go, I'm in the charge phase, act of faith, this dice, it activates this one. Yeah. So
Yeah, is awesome.
different bits and
That's
bobs there.
also horrible if you're playing against it as well.
Mm-hmm.
For like you, because what are the chances of making a 9-inch charge? It's something like 25%.
Yeah.
Like you've a 1 in 4 chance of making it. And so a lot of the time your opponent's not going to make it, and he's going to stand there, and they're going to go, right, I'm going to take them off the board now, thanks, or I'll charge you back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
really powerful.
When you gain a miracle dice, it can't be re-rolled. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Cannot be changed. I'm just thinking if there's any. When re-rolling a dice roll, no new miracle dice can be substituted.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be great things like essentially what's going to happen. There's loads of people chatting in the comments now about how you use it and stuff, and I'll go through some of the things as well. Seems to be a bit of confusion there. Now, and I'm happy to read through this in a bit more detail, so we are going to get clear on it, which is probably going to be, the way forward in a second. So it's going to be great for, you need that advance roll to get on that objective, to get within 3, so you're not going to risk rolling the dice, because making sure you get that perfect advance is going to be exactly what you want. So I'll just quickly go through this. Performing an act of faith. Before making a dice roll for a model or unit with your army with the acts of faith ability, you can choose to use one or more dice. You can choose one or more of the dice from your miracle dice pool instead. For each individual dice that is being rolled as part of the dice roll, you can select one miracle dice from your miracle dice pool to be substituted in place of that dice. The dice that is being substituted for is not rolled, and instead the value of the chosen miracle dice is used as if it had been rolled. Once all miracle dice substitutions have been made, remove the chosen miracle dice from your miracle dice pool and roll any remaining unsubsidized dice that are part of the dice roll.
Total sense. Yeah, get it. Dead simple.
Now, how I probably gain that is before making a dice roll for a model or unit from your army with the acts of faith ability, you can choose to use one or more of the dice from your miracle dice pool instead. For each individual dice that is being rolled as part of the dice roll, you can select one miracle dice from your miracle dice pool to be substituted. So now that I don't know whether that means if you're making a charge, you can say I'm going to substitute both of them, because it says you can choose one or more, and each of the individual dice you can then change. Okay, or what you can do if it doesn't work that way, then a great thing to do would be just right. Okay, cool. I'm going to choose a 6 for one of them. Then you just need to roll the remaining dice, which is then you just need a 3, and you're going to make that charge. And
Yeah.
then if
See,
you fail that 3,
yeah.
you can re-roll so let's say you rolled a 2, you can re-roll that into a 3, maybe, or 4, 5, or 6, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So really, really good. And I'm sure an FAQ will come out on this book, and it will just clear it up exactly. In terms of if you got a couple there, but it does say one or more. So I think there's nothing wrong with saying, this dice is going to be that one, and that one's going to be this one. Yeah. Right, okay, so on to troops. Like I said, you've got your Battle Sisters, absolutely brilliant, cheapest chips again. Then you've got, in fact, I'll just give you some reference in terms of how many points this stuff is. So a Battle Sister squad with, let's say, a Heavy Bolter and a Storm Bolter, for about 6 of them is coming in at about 60 points. If you take away that stuff and you've just got a base unit with a Sister Superior, you're looking at 47 points, I think, for the squad. So pretty cheap.
How many troops?
Just 5.
5.
You can take units from 5 up to 10.
Okay. So in comparison, you think that like 5 scouts is about the same?
They're 55, yeah.
Then you've got intercessors are like 80, 85-ish.
Yeah.
With the Stoker bolt rifles. So they're at 60 with a heavy weapon.
Yeah. Or 47 just base, yeah.
So you're 300 points, 6 squads, double battalion, and HQs that are 30 points here or 40 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Double battalion for 700 points, perhaps.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So into the elites, you've got a character which
Sorry, not 700 points, that's 400 points, wasn't it? So that, you're looking at 200 points for a battalion-ish. 215, something like that. So 450, let's call it, double battalion.
Yeah, plus some characters, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got like Preacher then is basically he adds 1 attack. He's kind of like another priesty. Okay. So a Preacher.
This is in the elites now, yeah?
Yeah.
Single model. Got you. Okay,
Single model is a character. And you'll notice there's a lot of characters. So you've got a Preacher. You've got then the Gemini Superior, which go around with Celestine. They're an option. They don't take up a detachment slot, though, so if you can't really use them to fill out a brigade. You've then got the Repenter Superior. So the Repenter, the big things with the chainswords, they hit like an absolute hammer. So the Repenter Superior is a character, so that it's kind of like their sergeant is actually separate. It's a character. It doesn't take up a detachment slot either. And she's got an ability called Driven Onwards. You can re-roll advance rolls and charge rolls made for Order Sister Repenter units within 6. You can re-roll wound rolls of 1 with melee weapons of friendly Sister Repenters within 6 as well. So she's kind of like a lieutenant and a re-roll advance and charges for the unit, okay?
Cool, that's nice. Yeah.
Then we've got the Repenter themselves. These things are super cheap. They hit on threes in combat. Obviously, this -1. Their strength 6, -3, 2 damage with their weapon, with 2 attacks each. When they
Strength 6, -3, 2 damage.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, and obviously you're gonna have a priest nearby, so they're gonna be +1 attack, so they're gonna get 3 attacks each. Okay. Then it's got a 5-up feel no pain. This unit, when the unit is destroyed, you gain a miracle dice as well.
Okay. And then you can obviously, like we said, if Celestine's nearby, if the Canoness is nearby, I think it was Canoness, you then 4-up in fun.
Yeah, so you're gonna really these people have got the shield of faith. Yeah.
3-up, 3-up stay, 4-up in fun,
Mm-hmm.
5-up feel no pain, 3 attacks each,
Yeah.
strength 6, -3, 2 damage.
Yeah.
And for how many points?
So a unit of Repenter comes in at a full unit of 9. Well, I've got a unit of 8 here. Is 104 points. Unit of 9, I think, is the max. Yeah, unit of 9 is the max, and it's 117 points.
Okay, so you're looking at 27 attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
on the charge. Yeah.
beautiful.
Then you've got the Celestian squad. This is kind of like your Battle Sisters, but better. They get like an ability to. You can re-roll hit rolls. You can re-roll hit rolls for attacks made by models in this unit while they're within 6 of any canoness, so they get full re-rolls to hit if they're within 6 of a canoness. They get the cherub thing. They get that Sancrum Imperialis, so they can double act of faith. They can also take wounds. They can kind of intercept wounds for characters. They can take a unit up to. You can take you can take a unit up to 10 models. One Celestian can take a special. One can take a heavy. Yeah, so again, they're just a little bit better with the full rerolls. Yeah. And then you can take a ranged weapon instead, or the superior anyway. So you could probably take like a combi melter, multi-melter, and then a melter gun in the squad, and they could re-roll misses.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna. I don't really like them that much. I think the Sisters Repenter are just so good for what they do.
Yeah.
Now, another unit here which I really like is the. Oh, the names are killing me, by the way. Zephyrarium squad. These are kind of like souped up. What are they called? Jump pack troops like Seraphim, like
Oh, right, okay, that's
souped
cool.
up Seraphim. They've all got a power weapon. They get
What's the move on them?
12.
Oh, that's really good.
And they hit on threes in combat, not fours like the other sisters. They've got a pistol and a power weapon. Power sword, yeah. Bolt pistol, power sword. They get 2 attacks base, so with a priest nearby, there's going to be 3 attacks. They have got the shield of faith, so they can get up to a 4-up and runnable save. When resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model in this unit, you can re-roll the wound roll. So they're strength 3 power weapons, but re-rolling the wound rolls. You can re-roll charge rolls made for order units that are within 6 of any friendly units with a Seraphim Penitent when the roll is made. So, yeah, cool. They get their Seraphim Penitent is kind of like let's just call it their ability. If they're near this unit, you get reroll charges for the same order. All right.
Got you. Yeah.
The invulnerable save models in this unit receive from Shield of Faith ability is improved by 1 to a maximum of 4+. So you only need Celestine nearby, and you're still on a 4+. You don't need a Canoness or that special Canoness and this one. You're just going to be on a 4+ because they get the +1 stock. So yeah, so they're going to be a 5 base +1 with Celestine is a 4+. Okay. You've then got Dialogus. He's another character, so you've got loads of little cheap characters, and the add 1 leadership. They've got something called stirring theatric or something, rhetoric. I don't know. I can't
Oh,
even read.
rhetoric.
That
Yeah, rhetoric it is, yeah.
some sort of word that I'm not very great at pronouncing. When you perform an act of faith for a model or unit within 6 of friendly models with this ability, you can increase or decrease the value of that miracle dice by 1 to a maximum of 6 and a minimum of 1. But it's not, you can't use it in conjunction with others. Okay, so again, really nice way of just going, right, that I need 6 wounds here, or I need this roll, I'll
Yeah.
add 1 or -1 to it. Excellent. And for, a Dialogus, they're super cheap. They're coming in at, Dialogus is 35 points, a Preacher was 30 points, a Repenter Superior was 35 points. So you can literally spend 300 points and have about 10 different characters running around that can't be targeted.
They sound like guard prices.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. But
Now,
better, but way better.
yeah, because characters can't be targeted, so they're fantastic at holding objectives.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I said earlier, going back to my original point. If you like to play the hold, you like to play the board control, you've got so many characters.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, mate.
Is there a benefit for being mono codex like there is for Space Marines?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is called something sacred rights. Now, if every unit in your army has the Sororitas and Ministorum faction keyword, then you gain this ability. So you can there's a chart here of 6 abilities. You can either
Yeah.
randomly roll 2 dice and you get both,
Yeah. Okay.
or you can pick one. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by the Death Watch, which I could see Death Watch getting something like this rather than Doctrines.
Okay.
So number 1 is Hand of the Emperor. When a unit with the Sacred Right advances, you add 1 to the advance roll. When you make a charge roll, you also add 1 to the result. So +1 advance, +1 charge.
That's really nice. Well, now you with your miracle dice, you got the Dialogus can maybe make it from a 5 to a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get +1 to charge, so
Mm-hmm.
you need 2 for a 9-inch charge.
Yeah, you need
Happy.
a 2+ on 1 dice, yeah.
Yeah. And then with a CP reroll if you need it.
Or if you got that unit like the souped up Seraphim,
Yeah.
they give you reroll charges anyway.
Oh, okay, even better. Fantastic.
Yeah, so, there's loads of synergies in it, do you know what I mean? Yeah, reroll charge, yeah. So pretty easy, right? And that's just on a 5, right? So
Especially with every Penta squad that you talked about, they're going to do work when they get into combat.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
you can pick number 2. And bear in mind, what I like about this is that you get to pick at the start of the battle round. So depending on what you're facing, it's like really toolboxy.
Yeah.
Number 2, Spirit of the Martyr. When a model with the Martyr but basically when a model with this thing's destroyed, you roll a d6 before it's removed. On a 5+, it can either shoot with one of its ranged weapons if it was a shooting phase, or make 1 attack in combat. So it's like having a chapter banner nearby, yeah?
Yeah, really nice, yeah.
So, let's say you've got a unit of 9 Repenter. Even if the whole unit die, statistically you should roll 3 out of 9. So you're going to get 3 of those women are going to get to fight back, even
Yeah.
in death, which is always really good.
Yeah.
So when a Deny the Witch test is taken with the Sacred Right, add 3 to the total. So your Shield of Faith now is a d6 +3. I mean, you're taking that all day long against demons.
Yeah.
Absolutely taking that all day long against demon, or whatever sort of smite spam list you're up against. Yeah. Divine Guidance. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon. Now this is the good one. Listen up, guys. This is why I said it's a little bit meta breaking. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model with this Sacred Right on a unmodified wound roll of 6, the armor penetration characteristic of this weapon is improved by 1. So all of a sudden you can have loads of bolt guns with -1 AP on 6s, because you're just going to get so many shots because you've got so many cheap sisters, which just really, really helps you in that kind of firefight.
Is that the hit roll or the wound roll?
Unmodified wound roll of 6, yeah.
Wound roll, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I really like that one as well. If you're in if you've gone for the bolt gun heavy sisters, then this is the one, because you just got so many shots.
Yeah.
If not, then maybe you go for if you've gone on combat orientated or whatever, or you go for the every time something dies on a 5+, it shoots back. Excellent. When resolving an attack, this is the next one. When resolving an attack made with a melee weapon, an unmodified 6 to hit scores an additional hit. So these Repenter now could be for every single, with their 3 attacks each, with their 27 attacks. Was it 27 you said? 27 attacks.
Yeah.
Every single 6 you roll to hit is an additional hit.
Fantastic. Strength 6, -3, 2 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
And then there's another one to basically get They Shall Know No Fear, so reroll morale checks, okay? Now bear in mind, that's not actually bad, because remember, every time you roll a 1 on your morale check, you get a miracle dice back. Yeah?
Yeah.
So even if you lose one model and it's impossible for you to fail the morale check, you still roll it anyway, because if you get a 1, you get a miracle dice.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you can re-roll it. Yeah, so you can have 2 attempts at getting a miracle dice.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just by losing 1 or 2 models. So if you've gone like MSU style on your Battle Sisters, you're just going to keep rolling that dice all the time, because because they're leadership 8. Even if you lost 1, you're not going to lose anything. Even if you rolled a 6, you're just fishing for that 1 to get those miracle dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then obviously we've already talked about how powerful those miracle dice are. Okay, so then you've got a Hospitaller, which is basically an apothecary, another very cheap character.
I'm just going to depart for 30 seconds, Steve. I'll let you carry on.
Okay, so we've got this Hospitaller, or whatever it is. At the end of your movement phase, you can provide medical attention within 3. You can basically generate up to D3 lost wounds. This is on an infantry unit. If it hasn't been destroyed, or if a model's been destroyed, you can basically put a model back with 1 wound left, placing it with 3. Now, there isn't a roll to be made here like there is with other apothecaries, so it's just literally 1 back, which is really great. And you'll see why this can be really, really powerful to basically, if you've got like when we come on to their version of Devastators, which are called, all the names are escaping me, Retributor squads, getting back, for example, another, multi-melter or whatever it might be, absolutely fantastic, because they've only ever got 1 wound anyway, so that's really, really useful. So guys, I'm going to quickly pop in the chat, just have a little quick look at what's going on, what you guys are saying. If you have any questions, you can kind of let me know. Chat has gone absolutely bananas, which is brilliant. Great to see so many people commenting, chatting. See if there's any recent question. Yeah, some really nice. I think a lot of people liking the sisters.
Sorry, guys, I just had to let the dog out.
No worries, mate. So, got to the next. So that was the apothecary version.
Yep.
We've got another character. Now, this is one. I'm probably taking 3 of these in the list, and you'll see why this is so good. They're called an Imagifier. Now, they're pretty vulnerable with only 4 wounds, toughness 3. Now, during deployment, after you've set up the model, you select one of the following tails, okay? That model has the ability until the end of the phase. So you've got 3 tails to choose from. One of them is that you can reroll Deny the Witch tests for order, within 6. So if you get against that psychic heavy army, you're getting this reroll for the deny. You get the deny plus a 3, really, really good there. Some good synergies. You then get the one which I think everyone's probably going to take as a standard, is the Tale of Stoic. And this is why, again, another reason why they're going to be a little bit meta breaking at the moment. Weapons with with a armor penetration characteristic of -1 are treated as having armor penetration characteristic of 0.
Oh, okay.
Whilst they're within 6.
Yeah.
So your aggressors in the tactical doctrine, which are normally -1, are now -0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's absolutely brilliant. And this is on any order unit, so it's not. This can work on vehicles and tanks as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
The next one is Tale of the Warrior, +1 strength. So now, the way that modifiers work is if you've got one of these guys within 6 inches of the Repenter, you add on a strength, so they become strength 4, then you double it, so now your power fists are strength 8, or these big old chainsaws, strength 8, -3, 2 damage.
So if you are dropping in with a squad of 9,
Mm-hmm.
you are automatically making your charge against the knight.
Well, these women can't deep strike the ones with the big chainswords,
Oh, can they not? All right,
but they
okay,
could jump out a rhino, for example.
sure, okay. Or is there a stratagem for what's the stratagem? The where you can come off the board edge, the
Nah,
space to get it. No, okay,
nothing.
right.
No deep strike for these women or outflank. No.
Outflank, that's the one. Okay,
Yeah.
but all right. If you need if you can come from behind a building, to make a
Mm-hmm.
charge against a knight, and if you come from behind a building, then what's going to occur is that you're not going to face any Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out on the site, and then you're going to make 27 strength 8 minus
Three, two
minus 3,
damage.
2 damage attacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to wipe that knight out pretty much. I would have thought.
In every 6 to hit is an extra hit. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
You've then got your Crusaders, which are basically a unit with, it's like a guardsman with 2 attacks with a power sword and a storm shield. Not great, to be honest. Death Cult Assassins, not great. Um, I would have really liked to see them have a deep strike ability, but they don't have it. Um, Again, they've just got power blades, which are like -3, 1 damage. So just basically kind of power swords. Yeah, strength 4. I mean, again, they're super cheap. You could have a couple in your back line just hidden, and then if orcs come in or something, you charge in a unit of
yeah.
5 Death Cult Assassins should chomp through a few hopefully. Um, anyway, they get Zealot, which is their special ability. They don't get Shield of Faith, which I think is reroll misses in combat. Yes, you can reroll the hit roll. Yeah, when you make a charge or whatever, perform a heroic intervention. Then you've got Arco-Flagellants. Now these guys are a little bit quicker, moving 7. They hit on 4, strength 4 minus strength 4, 2 attacks apiece. Now they're +1 strength, so actually strength 5 -1, 1 damage. But they make D3 hits for each attack rather than 1, so they're going to be getting 2d3 hits per guy. And these are the things with the flails.
Yeah.
They get reroll misses, but because they're hitting on 4s, I don't know, I don't really rate them that much because they can't get the order keywords. You can't buff them up with the Imagifier to give them +1 strength. You can't give them the rerolls from like canonesses and stuff because they don't have the order keyword. So
I think I came across these before in a tournament, and the guy that was using them said they had like a 7-up save or something. And I said, how does that work? He said, oh, you have to buff them, and they were buffed by priests.
yeah, so they've got a 7+ save, but there's no
Yeah.
way. Yeah, it's got a 5-up feel no pain basically.
So basically, yeah, that was they had the same thing. And he said, if you just take them out of a vehicle, you don't foot slog them up the board. They get out. They're a one-shot device. They do all the attacks. They did a bit of damage, I think, against like Talos or something. They were pretty decent. But then I managed to mince them straight after with their
Yeah,
7-up save.
like a strong fart's going to take these guys out.
Yeah, yeah, got you. Okay.
Yeah. Then you got your Dominions, which are kind of like a 5 to 10 man unit. You can take 4 special weapons like melter guns, and they can before at the start of the first battle round they can move 9 before the battle basically begins. Okay.
Cool.
Um, and then they got all the regular sister kind of stuff. Now we're into the fast attacks. You then got Seraphim, which are your jump packs. They can take hand flamers, they can take hand inferno or like melter pistols,
Yeah.
which are obviously strength 8 -4 d6 damage.
Can they deep strike with the jetpacks as
Yeah,
well?
they can deep strike. Yeah, and they also get the +1 to their in-bun save as well, up to a maximum of 4+. I really like these. I'm probably going to be taking anywhere from 20 to 30 of these Seraphim, for sure. Then you've got, in heavy supports, you've got an Exorcist. The Exorcist got a massive buff in this book. The launcher used to be D6 shots. So it's basically a toughness 8, 12 wound tank, hits on 3s. Unfortunately, it does suffer the penalty for moving and shooting, etc. But it's got its 48 range, heavy 3d6. So you've got 2 types of options. You've got Heavy 3d6, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. That's okay.
Yeah.
So you're
Great
averaging
against troops and stuff.
you're
Yeah.
averaging about 10 to 11 shots there,
Yeah.
with kind of like a souped up heavy bolter. Or you've got the Exorcist missile launcher, which I think most people will go for, which is heavy 3d3, so average of 6 shots there, strength 8, -3 d6 damage. Now, normally d6 damage isn't great. You want to stay away from it because the variance is so high. But now with obviously the miracle dice, you can just go, right, I need a 2 damage, I'll just take a 2. I need a 5 damage, I'll just take a 5. And now I've done my 7 damage to that knight in bish bash bosh, he's dead.
Having recently played Repulsor Executioners in the various connotations of the Marine armies I've been trying out, the minimum 3 damage is absolutely beautiful for D6. It's made a massive difference. So using the miracle dice to be able to say, here's the damage that I want. And actually, that if you were coming up against something like Necrons with quantum shielding, maybe that's where you use your 2s. You know what I mean? Because you're going to say, well, I'm going to give 6. Well, the Necron players, all he's got to do is roll under a 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pretty easy to do, So actually, to chip wounds off, especially if you've got like a Ghost Keel or whatever they're called, Ghost Arc or whatever they are, and you've got 6 wounds left, 3 dice, 2s, are likely to get rid of it all.
Oh, exactly that, mate. Yeah, definitely. Then we got a unit of mortifiers. Now, these are kind of like your Pentanent engines, but the Sisters of Battle operate them rather than Arcoflagellants. Now, these are pretty much equipped with 2 heavy bolters each and 2 Pentanent flails. Now, they're really cheap. Really, really cheap for something that moves 9 inches. You hit on 3s, strength 5, toughness 5, 5 wounds each, 4 attacks each, okay? Now, the Pentanent Flail, there's a couple of options, but I think the Pentanent Flail's great. You make 3 extra hits, so you're basically getting 12 hits per mortifier. It's strength 6, -2, 1 damage.
Okay.
And if you've got 2 of them, then you basically get another attack as well. So you're like 13 attacks. Then you've got... Yeah. 6 that feel no pain. When this unit is destroyed, roll 1d6 remaining. On a 4+, it basically dishes out d3 mortal wounds. You can actually choose to shoot your unit. You can use your heavy bolters if they have the assault 3 characteristic until the end of the phase. Or you can equip heavy flamers and use them as pistols, but I think you're going to go for the heavy bolters every time. So it means you can advance and still shoot your heavy bolters, which is really, really good.
I got a couple of questions. Just going back to the tank.
Yep.
Or if it's a tank, it's like a Rhino derivative, if I remember correctly.
With an organ on, yep.
Yeah, with the and it's got the Exorcist missiles. That 3d3 is really good for strength 8 shots, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does that set you back points wise? Do you know?
Yep, I do. It is so you've got to equip the missile. It's 90 points stock, and then the missile launcher is the Exorcist missile launcher. It comes in at 160 points.
Okay. So you think? Would you suggest rolling with 3 of those?
It's an option.
Yeah.
Triple them is good. Yeah.
Decent range as well.
48, yeah.
Great range. So my other question then is on that very same unit. What's the save on it? Because I remember playing against them, and they were in the last version of Sisters, the Beta Codex, and they were able to get 3 up invom.
Yeah. So they can't do that anymore because the only way to buff them, a lot of the ways now is... Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything on that Exorcist. Okay, so the Exorcist, you also have to take a heavy bolter, so it actually comes in at 170 points.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got a random heavy bolter on there, which is, yeah. It's 170 points for that unit. Now, a lot of the ways to buff the Shield of Faith, it does have Shield of Faith, so it does have a 6-up. But for example, Celestine used to be able to buff it up, but now I think Celestine only buffs infantry models.
I see. Okay.
Who
So I think
who's
it's about 510 points then for three of them.
somehow I can't do math, but whatever. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever 170 times 3 is. Yeah.
Well, and then as we said, you've 510 points for three of those,
Mm-hmm.
with around 450 points for a double battalion. So for 1,000 points, you've got a double battalion with four characters and four cheap characters,
Yeah.
minimum squad size with three tanks, and then you've got 1,000 points to play with
Yeah.
for other stuff. Probably depending on how the stratagems look like, maybe a third battalion.
Yeah.
But certainly in the elite slots, there seem to be a fantastic array of different things,
Yeah.
lots of different ways to play it.
Yeah, and then you've got this mortifier unit, which I really like because you've got your toughness 5, 5 wounds with a 4 up save and a 6 up feel no pain.
Mm.
Now these are 56 points per model, and you can take a unit of 5. No, you can take up to a unit of 6 of these. So a unit of 6 of these is basically 336 points. Yeah, for a 30 wound toughness 5 unit.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And it hits like an absolute truck. Yeah. Absolute. Like you've got another option there, like the Buzzblade is strength 8 minus 3, 2 damage. If it's got 2 of them, you're going to get an extra attack. So it's 5 attacks. So it's 30 attacks for the squad. Plus 3. Yeah. Minus 3, 2 damage hitting on 3s. Really good. Really good. So it's pretty nice. And then you've got the Retributor squad, which is actually like a Devastator squad where you go, heavy multi-melters, for example.
Okay.
Um, what I really like about this is that you can add 4 to the range of heavy flamers. So now your heavy flamers are range 12, which is really good if you want these as a screen for Overwatch from orcs or something. They can move and not suffer the penalties for firing with heavy weapons. They can take that Simicrum Imperialis, so you can double Act of Faith. You can also take a Cherub, so that you can burn that and get another. This armored Cherub, basically, after you shoot, you can use it and then reload, so it can basically shoot again. So you can double shoot
That's
one of the models.
same as a Space Marine Dev Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the same. They have the same cherubs.
You can have a big old unit of 10 of these just to add on extra wounds, and we can really buff these up later. You then got the Pentinent engines, which are very similar to what I've said before, but these get Zealot. They're a little bit harder hitting, but not the heavy bolters. They've got to take heavy flamers, so they're a little bit more expensive. But out of the two, I think I prefer the Mortifiers. You then got an Immolator, which is basically like a Razorback with heavy flamers, and then you've got the Rhino, which I'm not going to cover too much. Then we've got the Fortification, which is the Battle Sanctum. Now, I have no idea what this thing looks like. I haven't seen it, so as a visual, I don't know. When it's set up, obviously it becomes a terrain feature, basically. It cannot move. Now, what it does at the start of each battle round, if there's any Adeptus Ministorum units within 6 of it, you gain a miracle dice. So this fortification's basically giving you a miracle dice, yeah,
Oh yeah.
and cover saves, etc. Yeah, all right. And you can add 1 to your leadership, and you subtract 1 from leadership for chaos units. Not big, but just getting that extra miracle dice a turn is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could have that big old unit of whatever it was of characters that's giving you a miracle dice a turn. This is giving you a miracle dice a turn. You could burn off some of your cherubs in each of your squads to get an extra miracle dice. There's loads of ways of getting them. Okay,
Is there a limit for how many you can have?
don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Not yet, anyway. They might. Yeah.
Okay, then what we've got is the convictions. Okay, the orders. Now there are 6 here. I'll quickly whiz through these. One of them, gain a miracle dice at the end of any phase, in which any units with this conviction were destroyed. So if any of your units were destroyed, you get a miracle dice. Yep. In addition, when resolving an attack made by a model with this conviction, add 1 to the hit roll if one or more models from that unit have been destroyed in this battle. Even if they've... Yeah. So that's the the martyred lady, the old pulpit woman's order. So let's say you lost...
Judith.
Yeah, let's say you lost a battle sister from your squad. The rest of the unit would be +1 to hit.
Yeah.
It's okay. The next one is what I really like. The Valorous Heart Stoic Endurance. And they're exactly that. You get a 6-up Feel No Pain. And in addition, when resolving an attack made with a weapon armor penetration characteristic of -1, it's counted as 0. Yeah? So
Okay.
whilst the unit with this conviction is under the effects of a Magifier's Tale of Stoic, -2 are treated as 0.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah?
That's really good.
Yeah, so all -2 weapons, yeah, nothing, and you've got a 6-up Feel No Pain, and if you're touching cover, you're now on a 2-up.
And the Magifier, does he have to be? Is that a bubble, an aura?
Yeah, it's an aura,
Okay.
yeah.
6-inch, I take it.
Yep.
Okay.
Now remember, this works on your tanks as well.
Mm.
So
Okay.
your exorcists could be on a 6-up Feel No Pain now. They got that 6-up invulnerable save. They could be touching some cover, 50% obscured, 48 inches away, which means they're on a 2-up save, and any -2. So even like a normal Eldari missile launcher, Dark Reaper missile launcher -2 doesn't even matter. You just hit 0. So you're on your 2-up save. Yeah, it's going to really, take out some of the weapons out of the game. Yeah. Like, you think on your repulsors, even in the Devastator Doctrine, some of your, like, onslaught cannons, which become -2, are doing nothing to these women.
Yeah, sure. Like assault cannons, your heavy bolters in particular. I'm running Iron Hands at the minute for Marines. Heavy bolters -2.
Mm-hmm.
That's got back to 0. Put them in cover. 2-up in cover.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
They ain't going anywhere. Then you got the Bloody Rose. Armor penetration characteristics of pistols and melee weapons improved by 1 AP, which is good. In addition, add 1 attack characteristics to that unit in which it charged. So you're basically getting the old shock assault ability.
Okay.
So now with those Repenter women, they could be on 4 attacks.
And then have they got an extra minus as well?
Yep.
So -4.
-4, yeah.
Okay, they're brutal.
Yep. Or Seraphim dropping down with a pistol each. That's 20 shots for the unit, and then all -1. Yeah. Pretty good. Now, this one, not many people have spoke about this one, but I really like it. It's called the Ebon Chalice. When a model with this conviction would lose a wound, a result as a mortal wound, you get a 5-up, and it's basically a 5-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds. Okay. Now, this is good for vehicles. So Haywire, you're going to get a 5-up built-in Feel No Pain against Haywire. Okay.
Yeah.
In addition, when you perform an act of faith for a model, the unit with this conviction, you can first discard 1 miracle dice. If you do so, 1 miracle dice you use in the act of faith is considered to be a 6. So you're just like 6 damage on my first executioner, or exorcist, next one 6, next one 6.
Yeah, that's really, really nice.
Yep. Real good. The next one, when this unit advances, it can fire ranged weapons as if it moved without advancing. Not great compared to the Stoic or Endurance or Bloody Rose or Ebon, to be honest. And then finally, Sacred Rose. When a morale tested unit, no more than 1 model flees. In addition, when you perform an act of faith on a roll of a 5+, you gain a miracle dice when you spend 1, basically. In addition, when you overwatch, you hit on 5s, not 6s.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Right, so now we are on to the stratagems. Okay.
Before we do that,
Mm-hmm.
should we see if there's any questions? Should we try and catch up and see if there's any questions? So I think next up we've got stratagems and warlord traits and relics.
Yeah.
I've got, I think, a couple of questions in the community group.
Yeah. No, most people just chatting really on
Okay.
YouTube. I've got a
Uh,
couple of questions from Patreon actually.
okay.
So, a couple of questions from that. What are the best soup options for sisters? Would you go assault based, blood angels, or shooty based, triple caladius? Um,
All of it, by the sound of things.
and would you consider doing a yellow card style video for standardizing terrain at ITC events? I need to do a video, I think, on terrain. Really grinds my gears. But yeah, there's also going to be at some point a follow up to the yellow card video at some point, on how things are moving along with the whole tracking and sportsmanship conduct and all that kind of stuff. So I actually just sit down and plan it to make it perfect. Anyway, um, there's loads of options if you're going to soup it. Obviously, you lose out on your ability to. The thing is now, like, you're being rewarded a lot with staying monofaction. So I don't think they need a soup. I think they're actually really good on their own. But I think,
So, sounds like they've got a lot of tools there. And
yeah,
then we haven't even come to the stratagems yet.
yeah,
That you can have easily 18 command points, really easily, by the sound of things. And then the relics, warlord traits, we haven't looked at those yet. There's so many buffs. One of the difficulties with running this list is going to be remember everything.
oh
All the
yeah,
buffs, all the rules, all that sort of thing. It's going to take a bit of playing in
mm-hmm.
and ensuring using the miracle dice at the right time. Those repenters sound fantastic.
Yeah,
My top tip is if you see sisters, ask him if you've got, ask the person if they have any repenters. If they say yes, shoot them or kill them as soon as possible.
yeah.
That sounds horrible.
So Adam Trotter said, "What do you lose for souping? Where you lose your sacred right, which is where you get to pick one of those special abilities at the start of the round. So you'd be losing your, like exploding sixes cause an extra hit in combat, or you'd be losing the unmodified 6 as an extra AP, or you'd be losing your inbuilt chapter banner on a 5+ you'd shoot back. So that's what you'd lose if you did soup. So, I mean, they are pretty good. I don't know, I'm really liking the fact that a lot of things are going mono-faction.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just prefer it. Like with my Blood Angels, I could soup in some Imperial, because I've been playing a lot of Blood Angels recently, and I'll do a full review like this on the Blood of Baal. Now I've had about 10 test games. We've also got a new battle report coming out that me and Jack filmed of his Raven Guard versus my Blood Angels. That is a superb battle report, an excellent game, and it's one to watch right until the end. So that I've got that to edit to come out soon. But yeah, like I don't know, I really like the mono, so maybe you chuck an Inquisitor in. I think that's cool and fluffy, and then you've got like the ability to deny Overwatch, so your
And then
Repenter can get in much easier.
the Inquisitors don't spoil the
Exactly.
monofaction, which is absolutely brilliant rule for Inquisitors because you'll see them on the tabletop. I've already got one earmarked for my Space Wolves list when the
Yeah.
Space Wolves get a buff in March.
So before we go over stratagems, I want to quickly touch on Warlord traits because they're quite easy to get
Oh,
through. Okay. So a couple of key ones. I'm gonna pick out my top picks. All right. One of them is start of your turn, get a miracle dice. Easy. Why wouldn't you take that one? Do you know what I
oh,
mean?
yeah. So then you're already getting. You could be 3 or 4 miracle dice a turn at this point, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah,
Without
yeah.
a massive amount of effort.
You could have the fortification, this warlord trait, and the other thing that's 3 a turn at the start of the turn. Yeah. Then you've got the next one here. And I'm definitely taking this one. Indomitable belief, +1 to your shield of faith within 6. Again, infantry. So you've got Celestine, you've got this indomitable belief warlord trait. You're on all your battle sisters. Everything's on a 4+ invulnerable save now.
Yeah,
So
nice.
now when we start to look at these stacks, with the Imagifier ignoring -1 to AP, and then you've got the other thing that's ignoring -2. So if you're in cover, then anything that's -2, you ignore it. Anything that's -3 is going to go straight on your invuln save, so it's treated as a -1 because you've only got a 4-up save anyway. So worst case scenario, you're taking a -1 because your invuln save's that good, and you're getting a 6-up feel no pain. Just so durable with that many bodies on the board and that many characters that you just can't target. So The hold more guys is going to the sister player every time.
Does it sound a bit like Gene Stealer Cult? It does. To me, it sounds as though the book seems a bit like Gene Stealer Cult with having so many options. That's what I mean.
Oh, like
So
different
many
ways to go
HQ.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think
I
that's
see what you
fantastic.
mean. Next one. This is actually the warlord trait for the Ebon, the ones I said earlier that can
Yeah.
change the dice to a 6. If this warlord is on the battlefield, the miracle dice you gained at the start of the first battle round is a 6, and you get D3 extra command points.
Oh, that's good.
Excellent.
So you got 18 already. Let's
Mm-hmm.
have another. Let's flat 2. Let's call it 2. Yeah.
Yep.
20 command.
That's pretty much it, really. Yeah.
Okay.
They're my top 3. So miracle dice, 6 in extra D3, and then also +1 invuln save.
Got you. No, really
All
good.
right. Then some relics. I'll quickly cover those as well. There's only really good ones because there's loads of weapons. I don't like relic weapons. I prefer abilities, so I'm just going to go over the abilities.
Just a quick question while we are on this. Is there a stratagem for the warlord trait and or the relic to have more?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can, for 1 CP before the game, you can give a non-name character a warlord trait.
I'm pretty sure that's in here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's in here, yeah. Yeah.
Great.
I'll come to it, though.
Okay.
There's a lot, but we're cracking through it now. We're on the home stretch.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
get these relics out of the way.
Hang on in there.
Once per turn, it's called the Litanies of Faith. Once per turn, if your model from your army has this relic, is on the battlefield, when you gain a miracle dice, you can re-roll the dice. You're definitely taking that. So every time you are getting these 3-4 miracle dice, you get to re-roll the results, so you can think ahead of what you're going to need in the turns coming. Again, for the strategic player that's able to think ahead, let's really get exactly what you need. All right. Add 3 to the aura. So you can then stack that with the other Rod of Office. So now you've got a 6-inch aura. So added on to your already 6-inch aura. So you could have like a 12-inch +1 +1 invuln save.
See, that could be a 15. No, it's not. So it'll
12.
be 6 plus 6, won't it? Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
That might get FAQ'd, Well, that you can't combine them both. But until it does.
I mean, it doesn't see why it's not too bad.
So you got 24-inch bubble from that character, basically. 24-inch disc around it. Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it?
Yep. The rest are like pistols. You'd probably love a good pistol, mate, wouldn't you? I know you, but yeah.
That's a dig. Occasionally, I find the odd pistol now and again.
What does my homunculus pistol do? Mark, let's just move on, yeah? Anyway, so that's pretty much the two. Yeah.
The good ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, Michael said the Rod of Office is only for your reroll 1 Zora, is the extra 3 inches. So that's, yeah. You wouldn't have a 12-inch.
Ah, right, okay, got you.
Oh, yeah, it's Lead of the Righteousness. Yeah, so it is just that one. So, I mean, it would only be for your reroll 1s, you'd get the extra 12. It would be 9 on your invuns. Thanks, Michael, for pointing that out.
Still 18 inches. Yeah, 18-inch disc. Great.
It's good.
Right, before we go into the stratagems, I'm going to ask these questions before I forget. So, in our Vanguard Tactics community group, which is for anybody that's on the mentorship, I asked the question earlier, what do you want to know? John Smith said, will the sisters be the army to beat at LVO? I know the general mass of people might not have time to build their army, but the long-time players will have lists ready to rock.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to see them in the top 20. Yeah. Is he a good... Whether the top players would gravitate towards one, because at the end of the day, the top 50 of the LVO is going to be the top players in the world. So whether some of them are gravitated towards the sisters, we don't know. They're not tried and tested just yet. So, yeah.
Also, my take on that, John, is that the people will be going to the LVO trying to finish top 3 best in faction. So some may do it, but I think if they're going to finish seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth, they're going to be looking to finish top. As Imperium, as Guard, as Astartes, or whatever. So they might not abandon
Yeah.
what you've played for a season, but certainly I think they'll hit the meta hard come spring
Yeah.
20.
And bear in mind, guys, like some of the models aren't even out. Like we don't know what the fortification's going to look like. We don't know what the mortifiers are going to look like. Yeah, we don't know. So some of the key units aren't even out yet. Um, so
All right, another question. Sorry, from
invite.
Daniel.
Bear in mind, guys, if you want to join the mentorship program, we're actually doing a 2 week free trial at the moment. So you sign up for it, and the link will be below. It's on our emails when you join that. I'll send you a link to it. It's on all of our videos. So if you go on the Chaos Power combos, you can join the mentorship for free for 2 weeks. If you hate it, just cancel. And if you don't, if you love it and you want to stay on, then you'll get charged after the 2 weeks for the monthly amount.
Cool, great. Daniel asks, are they going to be contenders against Space Marines? If we were to place them in the meta, where do we think they would sit above and below who? Very good question.
Well, Tau are not going to be able to touch them because all of Tau's guns are -2
Yeah,
or -1. So they're just going to ignore that. So they're just going to sit on the board, and Tau are not going to be able to do anything to them. So it's going to be difficult. And then they've got a lot of bolter fire that can hit all the drones off quite comfortably, and then the big exorcist at the back can then pick out the rest at the long range. So I think they're certainly going to be above Tau. Obviously we got to imagine skill levels matched, right? Not just I'm not going to use players' names here, but yeah, skill level. Um, are they going to be a match Marines? I think so. They're going to get more board control. They've got a huge counter punch that is going to be really problematic. The only way where they fell down at the moment is that there's so much artillery in the Marine list.
yeah,
So if they get rid of all the Repenter through, because normally it's quite easy to hide, let's say, 10 women or whatever in, because they're only on small bases. But even in an enclosed ruin, um, Thunderfires might even if you ignored the -2, you're only on a 4-up save with
yeah.
with a 6-up film of pain. So they will go through with a lot of shots there, and you can obviously tremor shell them and things. Yeah.
I think one of the difficult things for sisters is the repenters are decent, and I think probably what will happen is people start running them, but they find it very difficult to get them up the park.
Hmm.
So they'll rhino rush them. They'll get targeted hugely. They'll try and kill the rhinos. They'll pop out the rhinos. They'll have to go up the board. There'll only be 3 of them left, and then the characters, they'll be buffing them. They won't do as much damage as they'd like. So people, I think the build will start with them, but then months down the line they'll start taking them out, and you'll see different builds. Maybe with the jetpack troops and that sort of thing, could be a bit more reliable. I think, but if you are concentrating on trying to kill 3 rhinos worth of pretty sturdy troops,
You're not shooting the 100 battle sisters.
and they're sat in the middle of the board getting all the points.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
In
So
ITT, they're getting Holdmore, they're getting King of the Hill, they're getting, ground
recon.
control at the end of the game, they're hitting all the secondaries, they're staying alive, they're staying in cover with a 2-up save or whatever. You've got a -2 gun, I don't care about that, I'm going to take a 2-up save against it.
Yeah.
So maybe the Repenters are really good, actually, as a distraction.
Yep. Definitely. Absolutely. So yeah, I think they've definitely got a good chance at playing the mission better than Marines. Um, and then there are some armies that they will just absolutely obliterate. Like Orcs won't really be able to touch them because they'll ignore -1. So looters won't do anything. The Orcs have to come close. That means then the Repenter can countercharge and just pick up all the Orcs. Um, yeah, so I think there's some really good. This is going to be a tough list to crack for sure.
I think an all infantry list, an all sisters infantry list,
Yeah,
like Imperial Fists aren't going to do a great deal to them, you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, exactly that. So, stratagems. I'll whiz through these as quickly as I can. Um, okay, 1 CP, extra relic. Okay, nice. 1 CP, your Seraphim, your souped up Seraphim jump pack women. Until the end of the phase. Resolve attack made with their May. So they basically can give reroll 1s to wound, as if they acted like a lieutenant, basically, that unit, okay? The Exorcist here. There's another one here, messes with morale. Wouldn't really worry about that one. I'm only going to pick out the good ones because there's some here that mess about morale, and some are like very specialist against chaos or demons or something. We're not going to touch those; they're too situational.
Gets the good stuff, Steve. That's what we're all waiting for.
This one, 1 CP, battle rights. You can start of a battle round if your warlord has the sacred right abilities on the battlefield. You can select one active one, roll a d6 randomly to generate a new one, or you may reroll if it's the current one. Yeah, so you can basically get a different battle right compared to the one you chose earlier. All right. Which I think is great. I like that one. Because at once, maybe you want the extra charge or something, you re-roll it. Maybe you get it. Maybe you don't. Who knows?
Yeah, sure. So you might spend 3 CP on that again, unless it says you can only use it once. You're going to choose them every turn. If you're going to go for who knows? But maybe a triple battalion, you got plenty of CP to do that, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah. When you make a hit or wound roll, you can modify. You can if 1 CP, you can use a miracle dice to add 1 to the result for each of the miracle dice you discarded up to 3. So you could burn 3 miracle dice to get +3. So if you only had like, I don't know, like after making the hit roll of a 1 and you definitely needed to make a hit or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes up, maybe it don't. But it could be clutch in some sort of moments. This one's good. Final Redemption, 1 CP. When a model in that unit is destroyed on a 4-up, it takes a mortal wound. So let's say you lose your 9 Repenter. Yeah. Every 4 you roll, which is about 4 to 5, you can take that many mortal wounds. So the knight, even if you don't kill the knight, you put this on, so when the knight's killing you back, it doesn't matter, another 5 mortal wounds to the knight, and then 3 of them might even fight back in death anyway. So it's quite good.
How many CPs is that?
Just 1.
It's beautiful.
You can also explode an immolator for 1 CP. There's one here where if you've got like a flame weapon, a bolt weapon, and a melter weapon, you get +1 to the wound roll. You got to be in range of a flamer, so it's not great. Probably too situational for it to actually really happen consistently. Here's the one. You can 1 CP generate an extra warlord trait for obviously a non-named character. Divining intervention. Divining intervention is you can discard 1 to 3 miracle dice, and that's how many wounds a character can come back to life with. But not one of your like the named ones. So like your Canoness, for example. Okay. So if they've got Kingslayer on your Canoness, you can just bring her back to life, so you deny the point. Use the stratagem at the start of your charge phase. That unit can charge even if it advanced. So your Repenter can get +1 to charge, +1 to their advance, and you can advance and charge.
That's really
now they're getting, and that's 1 CP.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 CPs. You can use this stratagem after you perform an act of faith for a hit roll. You can re-roll the same miracle dice for the wound roll for that attack. So let's say you're shooting an Elatok flyer with a multi-melter. Let's say you're within 12 inches or something. You can say, right, act of faith. I'm going to use the 6 here, so I hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wound. That goes straight through your armor. And therefore, and because it was a 6, maybe it's an extra AP because you went for the other thing as well that stacks. So it's like a -5 melter gun. All right, D6 damage, dead.
Yeah, and I've got a 5 here because I've got another miracle dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of those. Happy there.
Yeah, exactly. So use a stratagem at the end of the phase in which your warlord was destroyed. You can basically gain D3 command points. Then we've got use this stratagem during deployment after you set up 2. After you set up an Imagifier, you can select a different tail, so you could get the one of the warrior for +1 strength, and stoic, ignore the -1, like
Really?
AP. So
Yeah.
I think you're going to be doing that all the time. You can only use it once per battle. That's fine during deployment. So one Imagifier is going to be like a double chaplain sort of thing.
Yeah.
1 CP, use a stratagem at the end of a shoot or fight phase. 1 unit until the end of the phase. Resolve an attack against a Psyche unit. You can reroll the wound roll. So that's quite good. You think, oh, Psychers, but Hemlocks are Psychers. Some of the demon units are Psychers. So re-rolling the wound roll is always great anytime. So, and I think for a bargain price of 1 CP, that's excellent.
Yeah. You got
Hemlock,
Demon Prince on 3 wounds or 4 wounds or something. You just need to.
yeah, 1 CP, reroll the wounds, all your bolt guns, great. This one, Storm of Retribution. I really like this one for 2 CPs. Use a stratagem when a Retributor, so your Devastator squad, okay, from your army fires Overwatch or is chosen to shoot with. You can pick one of the 3 options. Until the end of the phase, when resolving an attack made with a Heavy Bolter, add 1 to the hit roll, so your Heavy Bolter's hitting on 2s. And the next one is until the end of a phase when resolving an attack made with a heavy flamer, you can reroll the wound roll. Remember, they've got slightly better range, so range 12. So in Overwatch, remember, they can, let's say the orcs try and charge in, you've got 4 heavy flamers, which is obviously d6 shots, and you're auto hitting, rerolling the wound roll. Really nice. The next one is until the end of the phase, add 12 to the range characteristic of multi-melters. So remember, you're moving and firing, and now all of a sudden your multi-melters have a range of 36 rather than 24, plus your movement, which is 6. So 6 plus 36 that's a 42-inch threat range with 4 multi-melters that, and one of them can fire it twice.
Yeah, with the multi melters, you usually get if you're below half, don't you? You get
Yeah, exactly.
improvement. So then that adds to it. That half
Absolutely.
them becomes 3 inches further,
Yep.
which can be very useful.
This one's nice. Now, for reasons why you might not believe it though, 1 CP, if you've got a Hospitaler, the apothecary thing, until the end of the phase when a morale test is taken for a friendly Adeptus Sororitas unit within 6, you do not add the number models from the units that have been destroyed that turn. So let's say you kill 5 Sororitas out of 6, right? Normally you'd have to add 5 on, yeah? You don't add the 5 on. You just still take the morale check, so you basically auto pass it. But that's not the best thing, because you've been forced to make a morale check. If you roll that 1 and you could re-roll it with the morale with that other right, then you're just looking for that 1 to get the miracle dice.
Yeah.
This one's for Exorcists, 1 CP. When you fire Overwatch until the end of the phase, you can re-roll any of the dice to determine the type characteristic for the Exorcist missile. Yep. Reroll any or all of the so it's heavy 3d3, so you could reroll, let's say the first one's a 1, the next one's a 1, the next one's a 1, you could reroll them all into maybe 3 so you get 9 hits rather than 3. 1 CP, use a stratagem with the Seraphim squad when it's set up on the battlefield. When they actually come down, you get into the end of the phase, you add 6 to the range characteristics of the pistols, so now your melter pistols have got range 12, I think, rather than 6. And you can shoot as if it was your shooting phase. So you drop down and shoot. So a bit like the Genestealer Cult Flamer Bomb, you've
Yeah.
got a Seraphim pistol, so you could drop down with 20 shots, -1 AP if that's the thing you've gone for,
Yeah.
like Bloody Rose. So 20 shots hitting you, and then you can obviously then it's your shooting phase, because that happens in your movement phase. Then you shoot again, so it's 40 shots, -1 AP. Fantastic. Use this stratagem when you perform an act of faith for a character, gain a miracle dice. So it's basically swapping a CP for a miracle dice.
Okay.
Use a stratagem at the end of phase in which you gained a miracle dice. Is described on page 75. Gain D3 miracle dice. Yeah, in addition to the one you would have normally gained. So it's 1 CP to maybe get some extra. Alright. So 2 CPs now. Use a stratagem when a Celestine squad from your armies fires Overwatch. Until the end of phase, you can reroll the hit, and you can reroll the wound roll. So the Celestian squad is like the souped up Battle Sister squad that are rerolling hits if they're within a Canoness range. which is nice. And remember, this is full rerolls, not failed. This is full rerolls now. So really, really some nice stuff there. But you're just not really, with that unit, you're not getting the powerhouse, which other units do have. Use one CP, use a stratagem when the Sororitas infantry unit from your army fires or to shoot with until the end of the phase. Storm bolters are armor penetration -2 damage. Storm bolters, pretty decent. And you can, I think the Retributors could probably take maybe 4 to 5. Not Retributors, the Dominions, sorry. It's quite good. But that's still a lot of shots. -2 damage is great. 1 CP, auto deny a psychic test. Great.
Yeah.
2
On a 4-up, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 CPs use a stratagem. After you fall back, you can shoot.
Use your miracle dice for a 4. There you go. Auto pass it. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I don't know if you can do that. Don't think you can do that. Because it's different. I don't think it's one of the categories, but it would be good if you could. 2 CPs, you can charge and... You can, fall back and shoot and charge that turn. That's nice.
That's real nice, yeah.
So Celestine can fall back out of combat, charge something, great.
Yeah.
Something here about Arcoflagellants, 2 CPs, you make 3 hits rather than D3 for every, so instead of the 1, which is quite good. Then you've got 3 CPs, the Pentant Engines, Mortifies or Sister Repenter. You can fight again, 3 CPs with those Repenter. Nasty. And then you've got your specialist one, so Lady of the Martyr. When a character is destroyed until the end of the battle, when a resolving attack made, you reroll a hit roll of 1. Okay, not great. Blind Faith. This is for the Valerius Heart stratagem. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attack made by a model, and ignore the hit modifier. Again, that's quite good. Every time you're shooting those Eldar planes, ignoring the hit modifier. Maybe big unit of Retributors like the Devastator equivalents. That's always nice to ignore penalties to hit. Bloody Rose. Until the end of the phase, when resolving an attack made with a weapon, add 1 to the wound roll. So now the Repenter, Bloody Rose Repenter, could be strength 8 +1 to wounds. You're wounding knights on 3s now, and you went from strength 6
with a reroll 1s as well. If you've got a character, yeah.
You got that little friend nearby, yeah, definitely.
And then obviously you got room in your Rhino for you can only take 9, so that can be a character.
Yep. This one, 2 CPs for Ebon Chalice.
Yeah.
When you're rolling the type characteristics of flame weapons, it counts as 6 shots. So if you've got the Overwatch, like I said earlier, you combine this together, so you could have 4 Ebon heavy flamers with 12-inch range, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, re-rolling the wound rolls. Orcs are dead.
Yeah.
1 CP for this other one, Agent Shroud. You ignore mortal wounds on 5s. And then the other one, 1 CP until the end of the phase, which basically it's like the Imperial Fist with a bolt weapon. 6s explode.
Okay.
So that's it, guys. Finally over.
No psychic powers?
No.
No psychics, okay.
But complete. So anyway, some really nice combos there, and what I'm going to do for you all is write a list and put it on our email list. So if you join the email list, www.vanguardtactics.com, sign up for one of our courses. It could be the free trial on the mentorship program for 2 weeks. And think of the mentorship program as like the only 40k university course there is. So every week you get a new lesson, new module. We've got loads of people on it already. Everyone's doing really, really well on the competitive scene. Just getting better. So if you want to feel comfortable and confident at the table, that's the course for you. So yeah. And then, or if you want to sign up for one of the free courses like the ITC course to get better, to really know the mission pack inside out, sign up for that, and I'll send you my sisters list that I would be thinking about running next year.
I got 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
One's from me.
Okay.
I'm going to ask everybody. Anybody got any sisters boxes going spare? They look really decent. They are. They've got the tools. I think they're going to be awesome. I think it's a list that you could run for. Like a lot of us get bored reasonably quickly. You know what I mean? Like the 6 months, 4 months, whatever. And then there's so much awesome, shiny new stuff coming out at the minute. It's like, oh, I want this. I think, Steve, you've had about 4 armies in the past 4 months. from Eldar, from
Blood Angels.
Blood Angels, Ultramarines, Iron Hands, all sorts of stuff. But I think that you really get a lot out of this book. There's so many combos, so many different ways to go. You're going to spend a lot of money on models, but what else are you going to do? It's all good stuff, good healthy stuff. So I think Sisters look fantastic. I think they've got loads of tools. I think if you can chain all the combos together, and I do think that you need a lot of games with them by the sound of things to really learn the rules inside out. You know, you're going to be 20 games sort of like before you're really chaining it together. You know what I mean? You might win a lot of those 20 games, but you know until you're feeling really confident, take them to a GT and smash everybody there is. So it sounds great to me. So I've got a question from Esteban Fernandez. He says, "Are mortifiers worth taking just for the 9-inch move and assault bolters / pistol flamers versus regular penitent engines?"
Yeah, I think when you've got a 30 wound unit in toughness 5, it's worth looking at.
Yeah.
That's a brick wall to get through. Absolutely cheap as well, only 330 points, something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to hit hard.
Get it in a list, Esteban. That's
Great,
the
great for horde clearance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kieran asks, any predictions for Ritual of the Damned? He says he's more excited for the real reveal of this than Christmas Day itself.
No clue.
No,
I'm not sure, to be honest.
me either.
So we'll have to wait till Christmas Day.
So that's all the questions I had.
Cool. Yeah, and obviously everyone who is in on our mentorship program, I'll be helping you guys with how to pick secondaries against this style list. So I'll be doing that sort of tutorial in the coming weeks. So if you are, coming up against sisters on the mentorship program, you're going to know exactly the secondaries you need to take against this list. And also I'll be doing a beta and meta on how to beat sisters for those guys in the mentorship program as well.
Cool.
Right, Mark, thank you so much, mate, for your time.
Thank you very much for you.
Thanks, guys, if you've asked a question, commented. Remember to like and subscribe, do all that good stuff for us. And please, 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 please spread the word about Vanguard Tactics. If we reach 10,000, you never know, GW may even help us out with getting some of this stuff early doors, so then Vanguard Tactics can become your place to come to get our review before it's even out, so you know tactically, competitively, where you need to go to get your information.
So well, great, yeah, love that, guys. If you could like and subscribe, get your friends to do the same. If we can get past 10,000 subscribers, that would be a massive milestone for us, you know. And we really appreciate everybody that's already subscribed and getting involved. You know, it's been absolutely fantastic.
It's crazy to think that a year ago I set up the channel on Christmas Day. So the channel is coming up a year old, and to get from 0 to 10,000 or nearly 10,000 subscribers in a year is incredible. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year. I've got LVO coming up in January.
Right,
Got some good stuff. I'm keeping a lot of things on the wraps with the list I'm going to use, but loads of exciting stuff to come. Right.
awesome.
Take care, guys. Mark, and I'll see you soon, mate.
Cheers, guys. See you later. Bye.